Hi there. How to decide on the right poor credit loan in 5 easy steps. Okay, straight in there to my step number 1 is asking yourself the question, do I actually need to take out a loan at all? It might sound a fairly obvious question this, but obviously if you don't actually, if you can get away with not borrowing any money, you don't have to pay it back. It might sound really simple, but it is the absolute truth. So I'm sure you have already asked yourself these questions, but just challenge yourself in, for example, is your reason for needing the money, can that wait until next month? Maybe when you have some other wages or other income that has come in. Do I really need to buy or replace this item, or whatever the reason is that you need the money, or alternatively, could I get a lower spec one than I was looking for, whether it be an older car, or is there a way in which I can borrow less money to fund this item, or finally, are there ways in which you can earn additional income to pay for this instead of getting a loan? Can you get overtime at work? Is there any sort of casual work that you can get? Are there any other ways in which you can earn some money to avoid having to borrow this extra money? So my step number 1, when thinking about poor credit loans, would be the first step, because poor credit loans can be more expensive or are more expensive than conventional loans, is that is there a way in which you can actually get away with not borrowing any money at all? If you've been through that process and there isn't a way in which you cannot get away with not getting a loan, I'll secondly ask the question, what is the minimum I can get away with borrowing? We've kind of covered this in step 1, but really sort of drill down and think, what's the absolute minimum amount of money that you can get away with borrowing? Because obviously the less you borrow, the less you have to pay back, and because fees are higher with poor credit loans, those fees are typically higher than they would be with a normal loan. So what ways can you keep your borrowing to an absolute minimum? As already mentioned, can you top up? Can you borrow less because you put in some extra hours at work? Can you avoid getting a cheaper item, whether it be a cheaper car if you're replacing that, or is there a garage around that's cheaper to mend the car than the one you were going to go to? Buy items off the internet, off of eBay, which may be cheaper than getting stuff from a car dealer, for example. Or just try and think of all sorts of ways in which you can just keep your borrowing to an absolute minimum. So then straight on to step 3 is then how much is making sure that you can comfortably afford your repayments. And I mean comfortably. So this will involve writing down your income and all of your expenses, including the sort of annual expenses such as Christmas, holidays, birthdays, things that you don't want to happen but often do, whether it be the boiler breaking, the car breaking down, the car service. So really have a think as to your income and your expenses. And then at the bottom, you'll have obviously the money left over, and think about what you can comfortably afford every month in terms of then paying back a loan. Because this will then be part of the process of deciding how much money you can actually borrow, will be how much you can comfortably afford to pay back. One of the big mistakes that many people make is overestimating how much they can pay back, and underestimating all the different unknowns and expenses that come up every month or every few months. And if you underestimate those, you can potentially get yourselves into difficulties when it comes to paying the loan back, and that's obviously the last thing that anybody wants. And my step number 5 is make multiple loan applications, because there are lots of different loans out there. They all offer different interest rates, different fees, different terms and conditions, and if you have a range of options there in front of you, you're much more likely to make the best decision for you in terms of borrowing the money, whether it be a short-term loan or a longer-term loan. So I'd highly recommend that rather than just making one loan application to maybe an advert that you've seen on television or the website that comes up at top of Google, is make a number of applications. At least then you can make a value decision as to which loan is then best for you. So if you want to get a number of choices of a number of different lenders, we offer a number of poor credit loans from some of the best lenders in the market. One simple application will go to all of our panel of lenders, and within minutes you'll start to get loan offers from us. So if you want to check us out in one of your options, why not go to the bottom of the page. There's a loan calculator. If you put in how much you want to borrow, over how long for, your name and your details, and that can quickly get off that simple loan application process off and running, in which you'll then get lots of loan offers quickly back.